All right, so here we're going to go over the use case where you want to integrate an app with Shopify Flow, but it's not an official connector. If you Google Shopify Flow connectors, you can see on this website it shows a list of all the default integrations, partnerships that Shopify has with these apps. So they work outside the box. Apps like Slack and Gorgeous and Google Sheets. But if there's an app that you want to use that's not on this list, like MailChimp or Twitter or whatever it is that you guys are using that you want to be able to use, you could still use that app by sending a webhook through Shopify Flow. So if I open Shopify Flow here within Shopify Plus, so here you can see all the flows that I have turned on and off. And if I create a workflow, so here what I would do is, as an example, I can detect when an order is created. And for the sake of this example, I have this demo store. It's called amarswidgetstore.com, and it sells random snowboards and skis. So let's say I wanted to connect this store to Twitter so that I could create some social proof. Every time I sell a snowboard, I want people to know about it. So what I would do here is I would detect whenever an order is created, and then here I would look for the condition, which is the line item. And so what I want to do here is check to see if somebody is buying a snowboard. So if somebody buys something and the word snowboard is in the title, then what I want to do here is tag the customer as a snowboarder. And then here what I'll do is send an HTTP request. And so this is a signal. You can send this signal to third-party apps. But sometimes what happens is those apps, they won't be able to receive that signal commercially. So what you can use is middleware software like Zapier. So Zapier basically catches the webhook and then it throws it to one of its partners. And you can see apps like this. They've partnered with many different apps. You can see here at the bottom it says apps by title. So if I clicked A, it would show me all the apps that Zapier has partnered with. So this is really cool because whereas before I was limited with the amount of integrations that I could feed into Shopify Flow using a middleware software like Zapier, I can add way more integrations that I would otherwise have access to. So a lot of people use Zapier for that. I like to use Integromat. It's another middleware software. It's cheap. It's like I think $15 a month. But it has a lot of integrations. And so the idea here is what I could do is I could, catch whenever a webhook is thrown at me. And then here what I'll do is receive that webhook and then send it to Twitter. So I'll create a tweet. Oh, here, 1 second. Start over there. So here, catch the webhook. So I'll name the webhook. I'll name it Amar's YouTube demo webhook. And so here it generates a special link. I can copy that special link. That's the key. So I'll copy the key. And here what I'll do is I'll send a Twitter tweet. And I'll make the tweet just sold a snowboard. So let me turn that on. So it's going to wait for a webhook. So here what I'll do is I'll paste the webhook here. I'll save my flow. So I'll call this send tweet when someone buys snowboard. Oh, it needs something in the body. This is where you could actually shout out the name of the person that bought the snowboard or the city that they bought it in, or something like that. You can feed a lot of variables into this. So I'll turn that on. Oh, what is the error? Okay, so I'll turn that on. Oh, you have to pick the type of webhook. So in this case, it's going to be a post. So we'll turn that on. All right, perfect. So the webhook here is going to be sent out whenever Flow knows that somebody bought a snowboard. And we're about to test our first one. So here you can see it's waiting for somebody to buy a snowboard. So what I'll do is I'll go to my snowboard store. I'll buy this snowboard. And here I'll just say, I'll just write one of my email addresses here. Basically, I'm just testing this out, so I'm doing a test transaction. And in a video in the description, I'll teach you guys how to do a test transaction. It's basically when you pay for an order and pretend to be a customer. So in this case, this is like almost a $400 order. So I can test this order out by turning on test mode in my store. So I've already done that for this store. I'll have a link in the description. That's usually how to do that. But the card number for the test is going to be 42 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For the name, it can be any name. For the expiration, it can be any date in the future. For the security code, it could be any 3 digits. And then I'll pay for the order. So the order is being processed. And here the order is done. And so now if I come back, you can see the webhook was just caught and sent over to Twitter because Flow realized that somebody bought a snowboard on my store. And if I go refresh my test Twitter account, you can see the latest tweet here is just sold a snowboard. So again, the point of all of this is I wanted to automate things within my store, which I did by tagging the customer. And also I wanted to automate things within a third-party app. That specific app, Twitter, wasn't part of the official integration list that Shopify has. So what I did instead was I sent an HTTP request to a middleware software, which is Integramat. Integramat caught the webhook and then sent it to Twitter, and the tweet was made.